A lot of the children here have a visual impairment and a hearing impairment and problems processing information through their other available senses. And quite often, even though they may have nothing wrong with their eyes and ears, they still have problem processing either the visual information or the auditory information that they receive. So learning for them is a little bit like trying to put the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle together, but without all the pieces. So our job as teachers is to try and help them find the pieces of those jigsaw puzzles and put them together. No incidental learning takes place for a child who has no vision and very limited hearing. Therefore, they're reliant on learning about what we bring to them and what we help them interact with within the environment.
It was after my first visit, just seeing the children and the way that they worked, the way that Anne and the teachers worked with them, it was obvious that they needed some fragrance expertise, some fragrances, so that they could use these fragrance tools. And we decided immediately that I would go back and start to create some fragrances that were usable for the students.
When we first started, we were looking at introducing different fragrances for helping the children make choices of drinks. To make that process easier, we thought it would be quite good to scent either the objects or the bottles with a fragrance on the outside so that the children could just pick it up and make an immediate choice. And we started off with one particular student, Jasper, and he very much relies on his sense of smell to learn. As soon as we put the fragrances onto his pictures, he immediately exchanged a picture of strawberry milkshake, it was at the time, and got very, very excited. And of course then when we produced the strawberry milkshake to him, he was even more excited. And we realised that for Jasper that was a really useful way of helping him understand pictures, because at that point he hadn't made any association with a picture and what it represented. He progressed so much with that. He now has a whole picture timeline that he follows. So for him it was a fantastic teaching tool.
So I began to work on Jasper's fragrances and he took to it straight away. I knew exactly how to use the fragrances with him to get the best out of him, and so they would make sense. And through the project we've been able to roll that out to other students as well.
From that point on, I thought that if Jasper could make those connections, we could perhaps help some of the other children who were struggling much more in making associations with objects and pictures and activities. So Kate thought, right, well, I shall try and create a fragrance for individual teaching rooms. And the idea then was that we would fragrance the object with the same fragrance that was in the room, to see whether the students could make an association when they smelt the object of the room that they were going to.
If you were trying to ask me a question and I just decided to close my eyes and put my hands over my ears, how would you communicate with me? You need to find a different way to communicate so I can start to make sense of the world. And this is what fragrance has done for those children. It's helped them not only make sense of certain abstract meanings and concepts and everyday objects, it's helped them piece together, well, their whole world.
Some of the children that we've seen today obviously need that sense of smell to give them additional understanding. Today we've seen children who have used the plastic disc for the first time with a fragrance associated with it to make choices of drinks, and that's been very successful for them immediately. So at the moment we've only looked at a few students, but the majority of students are not learning as well through sight and sound, are likely to use their sense of smell more. It's those children that we've looked at in the project, and long term I think it will probably be those children that it will help more. So certainly more of the children with a more multisensory impairment. So to see that for the children and to see the possibility of having a teaching tool that will unlock the door for some of these children. You know, we've used objects of reference with them for years in the hope that they will build up these associations, and they haven't. If we can do that for more children, then yeah, it's really, really, really exciting.
It's a lifeline, it's an end to the isolation that some of the students feel. It really is a project from the heart, and although it's a very serious project and we're getting great results from the students, it's more than that. It's the best job in the world, surely. It has to be.